Howard Hughes was a man who defied easy categorization. Born in 1905, he would go on to become one of the most influential and enigmatic figures of 20th century America. As I delved into his life story, I found myself captivated by the sheer breadth of his achievements and the depths of his complexities. Hughes was not merely a businessman or an aviator or a film producer, he was all of these things and more, a Renaissance man of the modern age whose reach extended from the glittering world of Hollywood to the cutting edge of aerospace technology. What struck me most about Hughes was his relentless drive for innovation. He wasn't content to simply succeed in one field, he had to excel in many. This ambition led him to break records in aviation, revolutionize aircraft design, and push the boundaries of what was possible in filmmaking. Yet for all his public achievements, Hughes was a deeply private individual, and as his life progressed, his reclusiveness became as legendary as his accomplishments. Howard Robard Hughes Jr. was born into privilege in Houston, Texas. His father, Howard R. Hughes Sr., had made a fortune with his two-cone roller bit, a revolutionary invention that transformed the oil drilling industry. This early exposure to innovation and entrepreneurship would shape young Howard's outlook on life and business. I find it fascinating how the seeds of future greatness are often sown in childhood, and Hughes's case is no exception. From a young age, Hughes displayed an aptitude for engineering and technology. At 11, he built Houston's first wireless radio transmitter. By 12, he had constructed a motorized bicycle from parts of his father's steam engine. These early achievements were harbingers of the technological innovations he would later spearhead. It's clear to me that Hughes's mind was always racing ahead, seeking new challenges and pushing the boundaries of what was possible. I intend to be the greatest golfer in the world, the finest film producer in Hollywood, the greatest pilot in the world, and the richest man in the world. Hughes's education was as unconventional as the man himself. After a brief stint at Fessenden School in Massachusetts, he attended math and aeronautical engineering courses at Caltech. However, formal education seemed to hold little appeal for Hughes. When his father died in 1924, Hughes inherited 75% of the family fortune. At just 19 years old, he was declared an emancipated minor, giving him full control of his life and his considerable wealth. This early independence would prove crucial in shaping Hughes's future endeavours, allowing him to pursue his varied interests without constraint. Hughes's passion for aviation would come to define much of his life and legacy. As a lifelong aircraft enthusiast and pilot, he pushed the boundaries of what was possible in the air. In 1935, flying the Hughes H-1 Racer, he set the landplane airspeed record of 352 miles per hour. This was the last time in history that an aircraft built by a private individual would set the world airspeed record, a testament to Hughes's engineering prowess and daring. Perhaps Hughes' most famous aviation exploit was his round-the-world flight in 1938. Flying a Lockheed 14 Super Electra, Hughes and his crew completed the journey in just 91 hours, beating the previous record by nearly 4 days. This feat captured the world's imagination and cemented Hughes's reputation as a daring aviator. What I find particularly interesting about this achievement is how it combined Hughes's technical expertise with his flair for publicity. The flight wasn't just about breaking a record, it was about demonstrating the potential of long-distance air travel to a global audience. However, Hughes's aviation career was not without its dark moments. He survived 4 airplane accidents, including a near-fatal crash of the Hughes XF-11 in 1946. This accident, which occurred during the first flight of the experimental reconnaissance aircraft, left Hughes with severe injuries that would plague him for the rest of his life. It's a sobering reminder of the risks inherent in pushing the boundaries of technology, and the personal cost that pioneers like Hughes often pay for their ambitions. No discussion of Hughes's aviation career would be complete without mentioning the H-4 Hercules, better known as the Spruce Goose. This massive flying boat was the largest aircraft ever built at the time, with a wingspan of nearly 100 metres. The project was born out of a wartime need for a large transport aircraft that could avoid German U-boats, but it wasn't completed until after World War II had ended. The Spruce Goose, despite its nickname, was actually made largely from birch. Hughes was required to build the aircraft from non-strategic materials due to wartime restrictions. The construction of this behemoth was a monumental undertaking, and it became something of an obsession for Hughes. The aircraft only flew once, on the 2nd of November 1947, with Hughes himself at the controls. It travelled for about a mile, reaching an altitude of 70 feet. I put the sweat of my life into this thing. The Spruce Goose project was controversial, to say the least. It cost a fortune to develop and build, and its practical utility was questionable. In 1947, Hughes was summoned to testify before the Senate War Investigating Committee to explain the troubled development of the H-4 and the XF-11. These hearings became a media sensation, with Hughes turning the tables on his main interlocutor, Senator Owen Brewster. While Hughes emerged from the hearings with his reputation largely intact, the Spruce Goose never flew again. Today, it stands as a testament to Hughes's ambition and the sheer scale of his vision, even if that vision sometimes outstripped practical reality. While Hughes is perhaps best known for his exploits in aviation, his impact on the film industry was equally significant. He burst onto the Hollywood scene in the late 1920s, producing big-budget and often controversial films. What fascinates me about Hughes's foray into filmmaking is how he brought the same innovative spirit and willingness to take risks that characterized his approach to aviation. One of Hughes's most famous productions was Hell's Angels, released in 1930. This World War I aviation epic was, at the time, the most expensive film ever made, costing a staggering $3.5 million. Hughes' perfectionism and desire for realism led him to amass a huge fleet of aircraft for the film's aerial sequences. The production was plagued by delays and accidents, including the deaths of several pilots, but the resulting film was a technical marvel that pushed the boundaries of what was possible in cinema at the time. Hughes' influence on Hollywood extended beyond his own productions. In 1948, he acquired Arco Pictures, one of the Big Five studios of Hollywood's golden age. His tenure at Arco was tumultuous, to say the least. Hughes's erratic management style and growing paranoia led to a significant decline in the studio's output. He became obsessed with minute details, famously fixating on Jane Russell's blouse in The Outlaw and writing detailed memos about how to fix perceived flaws. Despite these eccentricities, or perhaps because of them, Hughes left an indelible mark on Hollywood, challenging conventions and pushing the industry in new directions. As Hughes entered the latter part of his life, his behaviour became increasingly erratic and reclusive. This period of Hughes' life is perhaps the most difficult to reconcile with his earlier achievements. The man who had once been a dashing aviator and Hollywood mogul now retreated from public view, becoming a phantom-like figure shrouded in rumour and speculation. Hughes' retreat from public life was gradual but inexorable. He began to move from one hotel to another, always taking up residence in the top-floor penthouse. His fear of germs became all-consuming, leading to elaborate rituals and precautions. He would use tissues to pick up objects, insulating himself from perceived contamination. His physical appearance deteriorated, with his hair and nails left uncut for long periods. It's a stark contrast to the meticulous image he had once cultivated, and a sobering reminder of the toll that mental illness can take, even on the most successful individuals. Every man has his price, or a guy like me couldn't exist. Despite his reclusive tendencies, Hughes continued to wield significant influence, particularly in Las Vegas. He purchased several major hotels and casinos, becoming one of the most powerful men in the city. His vision was to transform Las Vegas into a more glamorous destination, moving away from its Wild West image. Even in his isolation, Hughes was still shaping the world around him, albeit in increasingly eccentric ways. His later years serve as a cautionary tale about the potential pitfalls of unchecked wealth and power and the importance of mental health care. Hughes died in 1976, leaving behind a complex legacy that continues to fascinate and perplex us to this day. As we look back on the life of Howard Hughes, it's clear that his influence extended far beyond his lifetime. His innovations in aviation helped pave the way for modern aerospace technology. The Hughes Aircraft Company, which he founded, became a major defense contractor and played a significant role in the development of satellite technology. Even today, the Howard Hughes Medical Institute, which he established in 1953, continues to be a leading biomedical research organization. Hughes' life story has captured the public imagination, inspiring numerous books, films, and documentaries. His combination of wealth, genius, and eccentricity makes for a compelling narrative, one that continues to resonate with audiences today. However, I believe it's important to look beyond the sensationalism and consider the deeper implications of Hughes's life. His story raises important questions about the nature of success, the price of ambition, and the responsibilities that come with great wealth and power. In many ways, Howard Hughes embodied the American dream, rising to great heights through a combination of inherited wealth, personal ambition, and innovative thinking. Yet his later years serve as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the potential pitfalls of unchecked power and the importance of mental health. As we continue to grapple with issues of wealth inequality and the role of technology in our lives, the story of Howard Hughes remains as relevant as ever. His legacy is a complex one, full of contradictions and unanswered questions, but it continues to fascinate and inspire us, serving as a mirror for our own ambitions, fears, and dreams. As we come to the end of our exploration of Howard Hughes' life, I'm struck by the sheer complexity of the man. He was a visionary who pushed the boundaries of technology, a risk-taker who reshaped industries, and yet also a deeply troubled individual whose later years were marked by isolation and eccentricity. Hughes's story is a reminder that genius and madness often walk hand in hand, and that even the most successful among us are not immune to the ravages of mental illness. What lessons can we draw from Hughes's life? Perhaps it's the importance of balance, of tempering ambition with self-care. Or maybe it's a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and wealth. Whatever conclusions we draw, there's no denying the lasting impact Hughes has had on American culture and industry. From the skies he conquered to the films he produced, from the Las Vegas he helped shape to the medical research his wealth continues to fund, Howard Hughes' influence persists long after his passing. I'm not a paranoid, deranged millionaire. God damn it, I'm a billionaire. As we close this chapter on Howard Hughes, I'm reminded of the complexity of human nature. Hughes was neither hero nor villain, but a man of his time, shaped by his experiences and his own unique perspective on the world. His story continues to captivate us because it reflects our own aspirations and fears, our desire for greatness and our vulnerability to human frailty. In the end, perhaps the greatest legacy of Howard Hughes is not his wealth or his achievements, but the questions his life continues to pose about the nature of success, the price of ambition, and the eternal struggle between our reach and our grasp.